Chapter 25. Catherine laid 23 eggs in all. We sat around in a semicircle that we made with our dining room chairs and watched as the 19 iguanas hatched that night. 19 tiny little lizards poking their snouts into the world. I wish you could have been there. I guess the last 4 weren't in such a hurry to come into the world. They must have been so comfortable inside their eggs, all warm and snuggly. Maybe their cable boxes were working and they were just waiting for their favorite show to end. My mom came home from the deli in time to see all but the first 2 being born. She wanted to name every single one of them Spencer, which is what she wanted to name me before I was born. Only my dad wouldn't let her. She invited Tom to stay for dinner. It turns out he's not only an Iggy expert, but also a vegetarian who really loved her cauliflower casserole with mock tuna. It's a good thing he ate it because the rest of us were looking for a place to toss it. Even Cheerio turned up his nose at it. My dad did take me into my room for the talk, in between when Dexter and Barbara were born. He told me that I was going to have to pay back everyone for the cable box, but he didn't ground me. He went easy on me because, although I made a mistake, I did it in the name of science. Ashley, Frankie, and Robert had to go home after the first 19 were born. It was almost midnight, and we had school the next day. My dad went to bed, too, and took Emily's guide book on raising your iguana with him. I don't know why he is reading it now. We had already given birth to 19 healthy reptiles. What more did you need to know? Emily had fallen asleep in my mom's lap. Maybe it was the miracle of birth that was making me feel all gooey, but she looked very sweet. Tom and I sat by the potted palm tree. We just watched in silence for a while as one of the 4 remaining eggs started to roll around a little. Here comes another one, Tom said. Shouldn't be long now. Should I wake Emily up? Let her sleep, whispered my mom. I guess once you've seen 19 iguanas born, the 20th is pretty much like, the 19th or the 18th for that matter. We watched in silence some more. The iguana's snout was showing itself, but he was taking a rest before busting all the way out of the egg. It's hard work getting born. So tell me, Hank, Tom said, why did you take the cable box apart in the first place? I told him the whole story about how I tried to tape the movie for Frankie and how I screwed up. What movie was it? He asked. The Mutant Moth That Ate Toledo. Oh, man, that's a classic, he said. So they say, I said. It's not out on video, and they only play it on TV once a year. My best friend has been wanting to see it his whole life. Now he'll have to wait 363 more days, thanks to me. Hank, look at me, Tom said. What do you see? A guy, I shrugged. A guy who what? A guy who knows a lot about iguanas, I said. And who works for a cable company. Bingo, said Tom. Hank, I am a cable guy. We carried the Mutant Moth That Ate Toledo on our system, which means I can get you a tape. I jumped out of my seat, almost out of my skin. That is unbelievable, I screamed. I shouted so loud that I scared the little iguana back into its egg. Sorry, fella, I said, but you don't know how exciting this is. I went back to my whispering voice. You can really get me a copy? Sure, Tom said. But I can't pay you, I said. I only get $4.50 a week allowance, and I have to pay everyone back for the new cable box. I have a better idea, Tom said. I'll make you a trade. What do I have that you would want? I said. I thought about it. Oh, I do have a triple eye cat's eye marble. That's pretty cool. Tom looked down at the little iguana popping out of the egg. I wouldn't mind having him. Would that be okay, Mom? I asked. It certainly would be, she answered. We have 22 other iguanas to find homes for. I think little Spencer there would be happy to go with Tom. Actually, Mrs. Zipser, I was thinking of naming him Sylvester, said Tom. I got a washcloth from the bathroom to wrap little Sylvester up in so he'd be comfortable on the way to his new home. It was a Spider-Man washcloth, which I thought Sylvester would like. Tom picked him up and wrapped him gently in it. That little Iggy seemed happy as a bug in a rug. Sylvester was going to get the best home an iguana could have, and I was going to get a personal copy of the best horror movie ever made, a mutant moth for a baby iguana. That's what I call a good trade.